here we are, and talking again about the Nioga Library System. This is the Nioga Library System homepage. Again, that is nioga.org. And you can also, of course, visit your local library's homepage and find a lot of the stuff, and certainly what I'm going to be talking about today, which are actually audiobooks. I talk a lot about ebooks because I prefer to read the books rather than listen to them. And it occurs to me I have not talked about audiobooks, which is a problem. So anytime you want any audiobooks from Nioga, from your local library, what you're going to be looking for, again, is this little button down here where my finger is, okay? And actually, before I even go there, I'm going to tell you right now what we're going to use to listen to the audiobooks is the new application called Libby. So it's Libby, it's for libraries. So immediately what I'm going to do before, so this was just to introduce it, I'm going to go home on my device, right? And this is an Android. So remember, if you have an Apple, you're going to look for the App Store. If you have an Android like this, you're going to be looking for the Play Store. Also, remember, please be signed into your free Google account. And just to go over that real quick, you can go into the device's settings. You can do the same thing for Apple. And when you go into the settings for either Apple or Android, you're going to look for your account. Now, I know you can't see everything here, but it does say account and backup. And if I tap that, the idea is then to go to accounts and just make sure that you're signed into either your Apple account and with its email address and password, or for Android, it's a Google account. Okay, so that's all set. And again, I'm going to go home. All I do is mention that just to make sure, because if you're not signed into a Google account, you can't get the free library app that is Libby. All right. So once we make sure that we're signed in, I am going to go right to the store. Again, if it's Apple, you're looking for the App Store. For Android, we're looking right here for the Play Store. So when I tap that, it's going to pull up the Play Store. Remember, again, with Apple, you're going to get your search is going to be down in the lower right-hand corner as you look at it at the screen. For us, we're looking right up here at the top. So again, I'm just going to turn this for a second. I'm going to tap and I'm going to put in Libby. That's Libby. And as soon as I put in Libby, if you look at the top of the screen here, it says Libby for Overdrive. That's the top app. That is also the correct icon. That's the one we want. So I'm going to tap it and I'm going to go ahead and hit install, and when it installs, we'll come back and do our sign in. All right, so here we are. We've gone ahead and we've installed Libby by Overdrive. So I'm going to go right here to the open button. I know you missed that. That's okay. And okay, so as soon as we go to open Libby, it says, welcome. Thousands of public libraries offer ebooks and audiobooks for free in Libby. And she says here, let me ask you a few questions to guide you to your library. First question, do you have a library card? So we do need that. So I'm going to say yes to that. And then it asks if you have Libby on another device, you can simply copy your cards across. Otherwise, you can look up your library name by location, or she says, of course, there's an easy way. Shall I guess? I'm going to go for, I'll search for a library here in the middle. So I'll tap that. And again, the first thing I'm going to do, and I know you can't see this part, but I'm going to type in my home library. Actually, that pops up. So again, my home library is the Newfane Public Library. And when I actually type in Newfane, it does come up with the Nioga library system. So that is what I am going to go ahead and tap. And so now it says that I can add my library card for Nioga. So once we go ahead and sign in, so I wasn't sure I had my library card number, so I didn't want you to have to wait through all of that. So it says, okay, so you're signed in. Here is your library card. And it simply says it's a linked card. And I can actually rename the card if I have more than one library card. So, for example, I have a library card from the New York Public Library. I could put that number in and my Nioga number and then borrow against either card. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to go here on the screen. I know, again, it's hard to see. I'm going to go to next. And all right, so now we're actually here in the collection, okay? And we're in Libby, the app. You can see the icon down here. And then I can go ahead and I can kind of scroll through and I can see new editions. I can see we're running all of the Harry Potter stuff. And I have my own shelf down here. Those are the books that I've actually taken out. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to look up here and with a magnifying glass, and I'm going to actually go ahead and search for a book. So I'm going to tap where the magnifying glass is, and I'm going to search for the Hunger Games. So if I put in the Hunger, actually when I get to Hunger, and then it comes up the Hunger Games. So let me just hit that. So hang on a second. Okay. And good. So now it says that there's 3. So this one says place a hold, this one says place a hold, and this one actually says borrow. And this, you'll notice it has little tiny earbuds by it. That is the audio book format, just to make sure I'm getting the right thing. So I'm going to go ahead and tap the cover. And of course, when I do that, it gives me a nice little description. It does say then for sure it is audio, and I get the opportunity to borrow it. So I'm going to tap borrow. And you are borrowing Catching Fire for 14 days on my library card. And again, that's just to make sure it's right, and it is. So I'm going to tap borrow. And now remember, audio files are very, very large. And actually, I know we just backed up, but take a look right here next to the, there's a little circle, and it's kind of slowly going around there. Whoops, as I wiggle the thing. It's going to take a while for this to actually download. It's partially loaded right now. And as soon as that circle goes all the way around, then it'll be loaded. Remember, audiobooks are very large files. And with that, it depends on how big your internet connection is. So if it's broadband, if it's a large and fast connection, versus a smaller or less expensive connection. And it also depends too on how many people are actually on the internet all at once. It can get a little crowded out there. So, but we're actually moving along pretty fast. It's about 3/4 done, loading up. And I'm wondering, let's see if but I'll tell you, even before it's fully loaded, okay, you can actually hit the open audiobook. So I'm going to do that. And when I hit open audiobook, it comes up here, and then I'll hit the play button here in the middle. And it starts to play. Okay?
Scholastic Audiobooks presents Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins.
So it has music, it's got dramatic reading of everything, and you can certainly listen to the book. It will play, it will pause. You also have a little slider here towards the bottom where you can slide forwards or backwards if you want. And it will allow you to go ahead and listen to the audiobook. Now, if you like as well, of course, depending on your device, you can either use regular headphones. You don't have to use the system speakers if you don't want to. Or you can, of course, always look for your little 3.5 millimeter jack and plug in your headphones if you want. Also, these are great. You can use that same jack, that port, and you can use an auxiliary cable or an aux cable. You can connect it to your radio in your car, or you can use, depending on your car, you can use the same Bluetooth technology that you can answer phone calls. You can actually connect, if you have Libby on your phone, you can connect that to your car and go that way. Okay. So you can get all kinds of audiobooks and ebooks all for free from your local library. Remember then too, let me actually back out of this entirely. When you have a brand new app, what we're going to do to find it is I'm going to actually go ahead and swipe up. And anytime I wanted to listen to audiobooks through Libby, I would go directly to the Libby app. Now, when I reopen it, it comes right back to where we were. So what I'm going to do is use the back button here at the top. I'm going to back up. And when I back up, that brings me back into the app itself. I can back up again, and I can go back to find the search, or I can explore. Okay. So we have different places to explore: kids, teens, mystery and thriller, new stuff. There's lots of stuff to do with Libby, lots of audiobooks to listen to. So they're great for people who like to exercise. They use them on their commutes and all kinds of stuff. So remember, you can always go to nioga.org. It's NIOGA.org, and look for those, or certainly go to your local library's homepage. And that's it for today. So we'll see you next time. Bye now.